Hello everyone, my name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader and this is my February wrap up. It is my birthday today. I am 29 years old. So thank you all to those that left me messages on Twitter and stuff. It really means a lot. And there will be a birthday book haul coming very soon. But anyway, let's talk about February, shall we? February, personally, was not the best reading month. I'll be honest. I am genuinely amazed that I was able to read the amount of books that I did. I somehow managed to read 6, 4 of which were on my TBR for the month, but the others were not. Okay, so these books here, I've things to say. So on my Kindle, I'm reading Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I'm over 50% of the way through. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm gonna read it at my leisure. But The Burning by Laura Bates. I got bored. I DNF'd it. That's all I have to say about that. The Poppy War. I genuinely wanted to read this. I had the audiobook all set up, but I just wasn't in the right mental headspace to read this. So it is on the back burner for now. I will get to it, hopefully, maybe in March. I don't know, but I will let you guys know whenever I do. And Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I read 1 chapter of this, but I just didn't want to read a heavy, thick historical fiction. Kind of historical fiction because it's set between 2 different timelines. So like one is like is 1776 and the other is present day New York. But I think I read 1 chapter and I was like, yeah, this is good, but I need it to be an audiobook. It's not available on Audible. I don't know why, but I found it on YouTube, so I might listen to it on YouTube, but it's on the back burner for now. I'll read it, and if I read it, I'll let you know. But anyway, these right here are the books that I managed to read in February. Okay, so I've got my Kindle here. I went off the rails when it came to my TBR because, like I said, those other 2 books I just wasn't in the mood for. So on my Kindle, I read and I also listened along to Anatomy by Alan Carr. It's his second book that he's written. Because I was watching like random YouTube clips of like some of his comedy specials to cheer myself up because I was feeling some kind of way and I just wanted to laugh. And then I was like, does he have another book out? I'm pretty sure he does. So I got it on my Kindle and I listened along to the audiobook because Alan narrates the audiobook and I had a good time. It was really fun. So 4 out of 5 stars for that. And then in a fit of despair, I went onto my Amazon wishlist and I bought myself House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. TJ Klune was an author that I discovered last year, actually, and I read his Lightning Struck Heart series. I adore it with my whole heart. I need to get physical copies of those books, but I haven't got them yet. But anyway, everyone has been talking about this and how wonderful it is, and I cannot believe it took me so long to get on the bandwagon, but I finally got it, and I read it, and it was so good. It was so good. It was so sweet. It was so wholesome. Like 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, it is a story about this man called Linus Baker, and he is a caseworker, and he basically goes out to all these different orphanages and children's homes and basically just makes sure that everything's fine, that children are safe, that the people looking after them are able to look after them. And he ends up going out on assignment to this mysterious island, visiting this orphanage, where all these children are like, okay, I should probably preface, he works for a department, it's like, what are they called? Department in charge of magical youth. So basically they deal with children that are like magical creatures or have certain abilities, or they're like sprites or something like that. So he goes out to this orphanage in the middle of this island with all these children that are very extraordinary. And yeah, it kind of goes from there, and he meets the master of the house, who is called Arthur, and it was like, they are the most wholesome, sweet, gay dads I've ever come across in my life, and I adore all the children. And like, if you haven't read this, you should, because it's like a sweet warm hug. So anyway, yeah, I'll just go in order that I have them here. So the next book I'll talk about is Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. This is a story about a girl called Imani, and she lives in this dead-end desert town with her aunt and her uncle, and it's a very abusive household, so trigger warning for that. And some of the things that her uncle says about her is very inappropriate, so watch out for that as well. Because women are very, very degraded in this place, and all she wants is to get out and go to the city, because before her mother died, she told her that she had an aunt living out in the city, so she wants to go out and see her aunt, live in the city, and start a new life. And then one day she comes across this mysterious young man, and he basically says, well, I can get you out of here if you help me, because he's kind of on the run. So she sort of takes him up on his offer because she doesn't really have anything else to lose, and it kind of goes from there. But then she kind of ends up finding herself in the middle of this like political rebellion, because the country's kind of like divided at the moment. So, and it was good. I had a fun time. This is a gorgeous cover, isn't it? We love gold foil. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm going to be reading the sequel in March, so I'm looking forward to it. I gave this first one 3.5 stars. The next one I want to talk about is my second 5 out of 5 star read for the month, and it was If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. This is a story about a trans girl called Amanda who has moved from one small town to another to live with her dad, because in the previous small town she was living in, she faced a lot of bullying and harassment. So she moved away to live with her dad, and no one in the town knows that she is trans, and she kind of wants to keep that to herself. Like, she doesn't really want to, like, she wants to be her authentic self, but she's just like, I don't really want to, like, you know, she doesn't want to let people in just yet. And she just wants to, you know, live a normal life, go to school and keep her head down and graduate, and then go away to college and never have to deal with anybody ever again. And this is beautiful. Like, the friends that she makes in this, she makes friends with these 3 other girls, and they are so sweet to her. They just take her under their wing, and they go on sleepovers together, they go on shopping trips, and it's just so wholesome, and I love that. Trigger warnings in this book for domestic abuse, sexual assault, a non-consensual kiss, bullying, transphobia, homophobia, mentions of suicide, a suicide attempt, and self-harm. So be wary of that going in. It's short. That's a lot of trigger warnings for such a short book. But yeah, just be wary of that. But I absolutely adored this, and I want to read more books by trans authors about trans people. So if you have any more recommendations, leave them in the comments, because I love this one. Okay, the next book I will talk about is The Last Namsara by Kristen Cicerelli. And I listened to this on audiobook, actually. So it's basically a story about a girl called Asha, and she is a dragon slayer. She's like the best dragon slayer that there's ever been, but people in her country hate her because of something that she did 8 years prior. So no matter how many dragons she kills or how many victories she has, the people just don't care. They're just like, whatever, we don't like you. And she is engaged to this man who is like he's the commandant. He's in charge of the army. He is not the nicest man. But then her father kind of offers her a deal. Her father says to her, if you can kill the first dragon, as in like the most powerful dragon that there's ever been, that tried to kill you as a child, then I'll get you out, then you can get out of this marriage. It will gain the people's respect. So she kind of takes that upon herself. She's like, right, I need to find this dragon, and I need to kill it. I need to get out of this marriage, and I need to get my life back. And it kind of just like goes from there. And like, it was fun, you know, your fun sort of typical young adult fantasy, kind of a little bit more plot driven than character driven. I kind of felt like there were a few characters in there that felt a little bit flat to me, because she had a brother and a cousin that were good characters. They were good characters. I just didn't get enough from them, if you know what I mean. But I still really enjoyed it. It was still a really good story. Stories actually play a big part in this. And hello, there's dragons. Yes, feed my Targaryen soul, please. We love dragons in this house. So yeah, I love this. And warning in this for death of a pet and just violence in general, because it's like a war going on. So yes, I like this 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I'll talk about was our Introverted Reader Book Club Pick of the Month, and I have a review for this on my channel, so I'll leave it down below. And that was These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Oh, this was a struggle bus to read. Not because it was bad, but just because, like I said, February wasn't the best when it came to like mental health and stuff like that. I just felt like there was this haze over me and I couldn't concentrate. But this is kind of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but set in 1926 in Shanghai. And I did really enjoy it. But again, more plot driven than character driven. Some characters felt a little bit flat to me. There wasn't enough character growth in here for me. But I still really loved it. And I think in the end I gave it either 3.5 or maybe like a low 4 stars or something. But my review for it will be at the top of the description. So click on the review and you'll get my full thoughts on that. So yeah, those are all the books that I read and didn't read in February. Thank you once again to everybody that's left me birthday messages today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, how did your reading month go in February? Were you the same as me? Like, did you, like, was it a bad reading month? Was it a good reading month? But I'm really looking forward to March because I have a lot of great books on my TBR for March. So yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Twitter, Instagram, down below as always. Subscribe if you haven't already and ring the bell so you know whenever I upload next. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.